And hello everybody, and we're here today. We're going to be driving this limestone train all the way down from Kingmoor Yard down to Hardendale Quarry in this Class 47. So let's just take a quick look at her from the front. There she is. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started, get on board and get going. Okay, so here we are, our nice Class 47 cab. Let's get this door closed and get everything set up. We need our AWS switch isolated. AWS changeover on. In our chair, cancel that horrible noise. I'm sure I'm still calling it AWAS, but it's AWS. Anyway, master key. What else we got here? Desk light on. What's that one? Got the desk light on. What's that there then? Marker lights. Marker light. Just, marker light on. What's this one? I don't think they do anything, do they? I can't grab them very well because of my Xbox is so sensitive. Desk light is on. Okay, so we need the headlight switch on. Got a master key on. Just get our reverser into forward, and just get our brakes charged. Want to shut them down because sometimes I have problems with this, so I just want to give them a test. So let's just recharge them again. And we've just put this brake on for a moment. I don't think we've got any more switches around here that we need to fiddle with, do we? Thinking of the Class 37, we've got switches up there normally. So just double check here now, we're in forward. And I think we're ready to go, aren't we? Stop at Han. How do you pronounce that? Stopping at Hardendale reception. So that's our first task. So, right, let's get a little bit of throttle on and get our straight brake off, and let's get moving. Now, what's our speed limit here? It's 15 miles an hour. So we want to be careful, don't we? Just have a quick look outside at what we're pulling here. It's quite a longish rake of these limestone hoppers. And it's a lovely morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. And doesn't she look beautiful? As always. All BR Blue stuff looks beautiful, and we're driving Sir William Burrell. So I haven't a clue who that is, but it's Sir William Burrell. nameplate there. Okay, so it's a nice low shot we got there. Let's get back in the cab anyway. Let's get a little bit more throttle on. So, if you've been watching my videos in order, my last video was I was driving the Class 101. I think I titled it Class 101 Mayhem, because it was a little bit fraught with, well, if you've already driven the Class 101, as you'll understand, it's quite complex in all the you know, the gears and throttle and everything all being separate, and then on top of that, because we were coming from Morecambe heading towards Lancaster and then down to Preston, there was quite a lot of speed changes, so it was quite a hectic drive, to say the least. Especially at Lancaster, where my Class 101 started rolling to the station unintentionally. So, what makes this journey a little bit more different from my previous ones is, in most cases, I've already sort of, well, if you like, practiced. Not with the intention of, but I've already normally played the route before actually going back and then recording it again. I tend to play routes and then think, oh wow, this would be a nice one to, I wish I'd recorded this, you know. So on this particular occasion, I've not played this route before. I've not practiced it, so everything I'm reacting to is fresh. I've not seen what we're about to see or experience, so it'll make for a little bit more of an interesting video for you and myself, really. So we can hop up to 25 miles an hour now. So I haven't really spent much time in this area here before yet. It's you know, this is all pretty fresh. Pretty fresh environment for me. I've not explored much of this game, this route in this area. This is quite nice, and it's a nice time of day. I mean, my last recording was in the morning time, and the light seems to work really well. It sort of really brings a lot of vibrance to and sharp. Ooh, we're going to go and speed over here now. We're going downhill as well, so we need a little bit of brake, I think. Oh, we got a little class 08 shunting away there on its duties, and we have some kind of depot over here, which looks all very nice. And we got the washers here. Oh, we got a class. Well, we got a few. We got a couple of class 101s. Class 101s, and I think there's a pacer just off there. So we've got a yellow aspect coming up. So I'll just apply a little bit of brake here, because we are just sitting on the maximum speed limit, which doesn't seem to have achieved anything with us going downhill. and so we need to be careful now. I think our hoppers are empty. They should be, because we're actually going to the quarry. I can just about see the red light in the distance over there. So I think I was a little bit... didn't need to brake as much as I needed to then, but I wasn't quite sure what kind of signal we were working from. Oh, it's gone yellow, or green rather, so we can pick up speed here now. Yeah, I was a little bit uncertain as to what, because sometimes, you know, these little you have the little signals on the track. So we're dropping to 20 in a moment. I think that's 20, yeah, we're dropping to 20, so there's no point in me going up to the maximum speed limit of 30. And that's because we're crossing over, according to this signal, we're crossing track here through the points. Supposedly. Or maybe not. I wasn't quite looking at the screen properly then. Yeah, we are, just by here. Yeah, so this is all new and very pretty for me. I've not seen any of this before. So we're just crossing the points now. And we're going to be picking up back up to 30 miles an hour in a moment. So I think this journey is, how long is it meant to be? About 50 minutes. Could end up taking a little bit longer. Oh, someone's hooting. I don't know whether that's the 87, is it, over there? That was just waiting for their signal. I suppose I should horn back, should I? Sounded a little bit feeble, didn't it? So we're dropping back down to 20 miles an hour here, even though we've got a 60 mile an hour speed limit on this track. We can take it up a little bit, I think. In fact, we're going uphill, so we do need that extra little bit of power, I think. So yeah, I'm not too familiar with up here, but I think we're just about to approach Carlisle station. If I'm pronouncing that right. I do often, and I apologise, do get quite a few pronunciations wrong. I think I might have pronounced is it Carnorth incorrectly in my last video. Carnforth, I think it's supposed to be. And then when I've been to T-Bay in the past, I've called it Tabay. So I'm afraid you're just going to have to live with it if you're going to continue watching my videos. But I'm sure you can have much joy in correcting me or whatever. Oh, those look nice, don't they? Those parcel, I like that blue. Yeah. My dog has just walked all over the my headphone cables. I think he thinks it's fun, but it isn't. Right. He's lingering around. I think he wants to get in on the show. I think he knows he's not going to get any attention. He's trying his best. He's staring at me from his chair. So we got class, lovely class. Where's it gone? Class 40 there. Oh, and another class 40. Beautiful. Which I adore also, but it's the class 37, that's my favourite, as you know. Let's just have a look down here. So I don't know whether, are these included on the routes? Do we actually access them, or are they just there as sort of visual? Has anybody tried to access them on in the game? I don't know whether they appear on any of the routes. Right, so we can pick up speed now. We're just going through a neutral zone, which obviously we do not have to do anything about in our faithful old diesel. Yeah, so in theory we shouldn't have too much of a problem hauling this down to Hardendale, is it? Because what have we got here on the left? We've got empty hoppers. Is that actually moving? Yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure. Because last night I was driving a Class 87 pulling heavy freight. It was one of the scenarios, so it was like 2.5 hours long, and I intentionally didn't want to record it because it was just too long, and I'm not sure about doing extremely long videos. I suppose I could chop them up, so I may do it again, but it was kind of a waste of time recording it if I had it done anyway, because halfway through I hadn't anticipated the speed at which I was going, and I ended up spadding halfway through this 2.5 hour journey, and that's not a very nice thing to happen. Fortunately, I had saved the game at one of the loop stops about a quarter of the way into the journey, so I could pick it back up from there. Still, it was quite a painful experience having to go back so far back to carry the journey on again, but lesson learned. So yeah, there's nothing worse when that happens. It's even worse if you complete a journey and you go through the red light right at the very end of the journey, if there is one. I'm just bringing down my acceleration a little bit, but I need to be a little bit careful because we are going uphill. I don't really want to lose too much momentum. So yeah, I think I was saying a moment ago, we shouldn't have too much problem stopping, because our hoppers are in theory empty. But going back to what I was just saying a moment ago, when I did this spad through the red lights, I was hauling heavy freight, and of course it takes a lot longer to slow down heavy freight, particularly with it being such a long rake as well. And I just had to sit there and watch it happen, because I knew, even in emergency, with the emergency brake on, I just knew there was just no way it was going to stop. Yeah, your heart sinks when that happens. Just glad I'm not driving real trains. So let's just have another look from outside. I'm sure I just heard some cows mooing. I'm fascinated with all the animals. They've added this little touch of making the farmyard animals make all these noises. Now, as we can see on here, we've got a domino head code box, and I think I said in one of my previous videos that I love the domino head code boxes. I just think they just look nice. So as you'll know, they used to be the where the number. If I just go back outside, that number there used to be on the front, and that's where it would go. It would go in that there, but they blanked them off and turned them into these. Well, they kind of do still have a purpose. They as a what would you call it? As marker lights. Because marker lights are just simply marker lights. They don't act as headlights to light the track up. In fact, is my headlight on yet? So there's the headlight. So this how many miles have we got? 23 miles. This is so this quarry we're going to, Hardendale, it's a limestone quarry anyway. I'll tell you a little bit more about it. I've printed off some information, so for once I actually know something a little bit about the place we're going to or going to be at if we get there. But at Hardendale Quarry, there is, if you notice amongst your shunters, your class 08s in your, in your menu, there is a shunter there that is absolutely covered in dust. It almost looks like some kind of ghost type of looking train, because it's just covered in limestone dust. And there's I think it's about a 50 minutes, it's not a scenario, it's actually timetabled, a 50-minute shunting session of filling what we're pulling now, filling these hoppers, and they're filled in sections of 5 at a time. So you end up repeating the same function about well, at least 4 times, I think it is, 3 or 4 times anyway. So it's quite a repetitive service to undertake, but so it's not one you would repeat regularly. But I found it a little bit glitchy. I don't know whether it was down to me, but you see, I was stopping to try and take photographs and video footage here and there, and whenever I stopped, the wagons they became locked in the position I'd stopped in. Like, I couldn't push or pull them. Now, whether that is a user error or whether there's a bit of a glitch, I don't know, but I'm kind of looking into it to try and find out anyway. Giving it a little bit of throttle now. I did switch that off fully, didn't I? Some cows grazing away there. So we're just hitting the, we're going uphill, so I'm just taking off a little bit of the throttle. Looks like we're going to hit a bit of morning mist here, or are we going to have one of those sudden, looks really nice though, doesn't it? Wow. Or are we going to end up going into a little bit of rain here? Because we are on dynamic weather, so the weather does change sort of like at the click of a finger sometimes, which it did on my last journey in the class 101. As you know, as if you saw it coming into Preston, it just suddenly at the click of a finger started absolutely weighing it down, and I ended up having a little bit of a panic attack, wondering whether I was going to be able to slow the class 101. Did I say 108 a minute ago? Or 101. I was wondering whether I was going to be able to drop it down to the required speed limit in time. But we managed to achieve it. Yes. Oh, that looks nice up there. That. There's some really beautiful, you know, at the end of the day, the attention is about the trains, isn't it? But what is, I find quite really great about this map route is the detail that's been put into the scenery, and then layered onto that the actual weather and times of day, because sometimes that can look quite shoddy in some of the I think we need to look for our I think that's where the wipers are, because I have a feeling it's going to start raining. Yeah, the amount of detail that's been put into, you know, the scenery, the weather, it's really nice. Really well done job, and it comes top of my list out of all the routes that I own. Yeah, so a lot of the diesels, you know, the class 37s, the 40, and class 45. I mean, they all have the same kind of feel, but they at the same time, we're hitting our 60 miles an hour. Just give it a little bit of brake. Although they have, all the cabs have the same kind of steampunky feel, they do have their own character. So we've got 16 miles to go. I could hear the, because I was applying some brake then, I could hear these clinking and clunking away. It's definitely going to rain, isn't it? I could do with a little bit of help and advice really, because when I was pulling freight yesterday, when you come to brake, you know, all the carriages start buffering into each other, and then they end up creating this juddering effect, and you can feel the judder against you know, this against the locomotive. And I guess, I mean, how do you prevent that? Because I don't think that should be the way it's supposed to be experienced. I imagine as the driver you're meant to sort of alleviate that from happening. So what I was doing was trying to apply as little brake as I could, to stop them sort of jolting into the locomotive. So just kind of easing the brake in as little as I could, but even doing that sometimes still wasn't preventing them from jolting into the back of you, which I don't think is the right way. So if somebody more experienced, because I have noticed that there is people who are more experienced than me who do watch and have left comments about giving me advice or little tips, so please do, if you're able to explain that one. I need to look it up as well for my own curiosity. Class 40 going whizzing past there, that looked beautiful. So we just need to take some power off here. We're going uphill, so I don't want to take it all off. I think I said in my last video, I was if the last video watched was the Class 101, I mentioned, oh well, I'll do some shunting, which I did do at where we're going to now, Hardendale. But when I was looking back at my other videos, I'd noticed I'd made a shunting video before on the Preston to Blackpool branches line, and just gone over speed slightly here. We are going downhill. Yeah, so I've already done an extensive Class 08. It's just that I've not done one not done a recorded version on this route. I will do one. In fact, it was a flip up between this and doing a Class 08 journey today actually. but I just fancy doing something freight based today. Going back uphill again. In fact, have I got a list of questions here that I asked ChatGPT to compile for me if I ever get kind of stuck on my commentary on things to talk about. And one of the questions was, what are your favourite features of the Preston to Carlisle routing train SimWorld? What are your favourite features? I think what my favourite features are is all these, like where we're going through now, all these different places along this route. I mean, if you go to the Blackpool branches route, I mean, you've literally just got Blackpool, Preston, Ormskirk, is it? And, you know, and a couple of other places, and that's kind of it. But on this line, this has so many features. It's got many loops, and places like where we're going to now, this Hardendale Quarry, and some, especially with the freight-based timetable stuff, a lot of them require you to stop at these places. Unlike the passenger stuff, it's just literally at the station, so it's just straightforward Preston to Carlisle and back. There's no kind of diversity other than Morecambe. And I love exploring those places, so those are my favourite features about this. I think it's something that is going to be very difficult to beat, to be honest with you. So that's what I love the most about this particular route. I mean, the route is showcased with it being for the Class 87, and you know, that is probably been its main selling point, but I think really there's a lot more that shines above the Class 87 when it comes to driving freight along here and calling at the various loops and little workings and places of that kind, where you got these opportunities to walk around. Not knocking the 87, of course, you know. I think the other thing about this route is it's probably one of the most challenging. It's and a diverse range of challenges. You know, mastering the Class 101, because the Class 101 version in this is slightly different. Trying to do it, and wow, I can't pull back any more, unfortunately. Sorry about that. There was a nice opportunity there to have had a lovely shot. Never mind. Yeah, the Class 101 in this is, although is virtually identical, it does have, the braking is a little bit more sensitive. So, you know, they've got the Class 101, it's challenging itself, then you've got the Class 87, which has its challenges. easy to drive in many ways, but also you've got the neutral zones which you have to memorize basically, and then some of the timetable stuff, like shunting, and I mean the scenario I did last night, it's the longest scenario on this route. I forget what it's called, I wish I'd noted it down now, but I think it's the first one on the list, and it's about, I think, 2.5 hours long, and it's pulling freight from Carlisle to Preston, and it meant having to respond to a variety of signals, and that's one of the things that lets this game down, not this route but the game as a whole, is a lack of most of the time the signals are always on yellow or green, and it just makes it uninteresting. I think there needs to be some more delays and hold-ups. I don't mean hold-ups where you're held there for half an hour or 20 minutes or whatever it may be, but just keeping you on your toes. I think that scenario I did last night offered that, because you had to pull into these loops, and it was a tiring journey. I could imagine as a real train driver that would have been quite a taxing journey for them as well. I was saying that there was opportunity to have a nice cup of tea in the loops while you were waiting. So we've got 6 miles left now. So yeah, that answers my question. The question ChatGPT, one of the questions, because it's put quite a comprehensive list together. I'm never going to answer them all in this particular journey. The next question was, do you prefer freight or passenger services in Train Sim World, and why? I think if I had to choose between the two, I prefer freight because of it's quite unique. There's lots of different manoeuvres involved. The trains are a little bit more challenging to drive. If I really had to choose, it would perhaps be freight, particularly of the BR Blue era, because I hate that Class 66. I think it's the most boring engine in the whole game, and it just seems to be on every single route. Thankfully it's not on this, but I can't bear it. It's just boring. I mean, people who drive it said it's but it's a reliable engine. I think Dad's Rail was only saying the other night when I was watching his stream, it's not the most exciting of diesel engines, but something was needed, and unfortunately it was that. But it has been a reliable replacement, otherwise they would have been quite stuck without it. But it is boring. It just hasn't got the quirks of the BR Blue era diesels, So what was the question again? But I do love passenger stuff as well. It depends on what mood I'm in, but the best passenger service I love driving, surprisingly, is a modern day route, which is the Victoria to Brighton line, or Brighton to Victoria, whichever way round you want to call it. I don't know if that's what the route is called, but you'll know the route what I mean. And it's modern day, and I love driving that passenger service, particularly the services that go right from Victoria to Brighton. Um, it's a really nice train to drive. I can't remember the number of the train now, so I'm not even going to guess it. But it's the green one anyway, that goes right through. And you've got to get although you've got your stop markers on the platforms, so you've got to know how many carriages you're pulling. And you've got to get those smack on with your stop markers, particularly if you're pulling 12 coaches. So you've got to stop right at the end of the platform, because if you don't, the rear carriage is most definitely going to be hanging off the platform at the back, and passengers falling out onto, what is basically no platform. I think that is my favourite passenger. Right, we're getting pretty close now to Hardendale. That's right, Hardendale. Is this Hardendale? Let me just look. Hardendale. Yes, Hardendale Quarry. Now, what I'm a little bit disappointed about here is that it's bloody foggy, because I wanted you to be able to see the place, because the quarry looks quite impressive from when you pass it on the main line here. And if it's going to be hidden away in the fog, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. Wow, that looks quite realistic, doesn't it? Very realistic. Right, it's we've got 2 miles away now, so not that we need to chew off too much speed, but we are, pulling freight at the end of the day, so we need to be cautious here. Can't see this, there's a yellow light. So I'm going to take my throttle completely off now. We are going uphill though, so I need to be careful. But I'm going to... Let's not try and be too clever here. One of the things is not to predict when driving trains. So I'm going to shave some speed off here and get it down to perhaps about 38. So we can see we've got a 10 mile an hour speed limit coming up. So as I say, I haven't played this timetable before, so I need to ensure we get this speed down. I could feel a little bit of juddering then, actually. Well, I think the weather might be clearing for us slightly. I'm assuming we must be leaving the track here somewhere. I mean, we're only 0.6 miles away from where we're meant to be stopping. Right, that's where we're going over there. That looks like a red, doesn't it? It is. But it's not showing red on the... But it's... Oh, it's got the... Oh, we're okay. It's got the marker to go left. Whew. I was panicking then. Still makes it feel a bit... Right. Now we got this damn window frame in the way. So... But it'd be nice to just see it through the window without that window frame being in the way. It's nearly... We just need to bring in a little bit of... we need to bring some throttle in here, otherwise we're going to be stopped in a minute. Not going into our yellow, are we? I think we're alright. I think this is where we're coming off here now. Yeah, because I can see it. Wow, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Why do I get so excited about industrial, things? What is it? It looks good though, doesn't it? It looks impressive. I'm glad the weather's cleared up for us. So hopefully in a moment, maybe we'll be asked to stop. Yeah, we are going to be asked to stop. So, what's that down there? So maybe when we're stopped, I'll give you there'll be an opportunity for me to read this little thing I've printed off for you. To give you a bit of an insight to Hardendale Quarry, because I don't know anything about it personally myself, so any of yous living around there will have a better idea about it, but I've decided that what I should be doing a little bit more of is not only learn the route of the learn the route, but learn a little bit about the history of these places. Let me just see what we don't want to start speeding now after coming this far, do we? Right, so we're stopping in 300 yards. It's all getting a little bit tense. I think this is just a there's a buffer down the end here, I think, because I think this was where I was shunting the other day, if I remember correctly, up and down along here. Right, so we've got almost 50 yards to go. Well, that's as good as it, really, isn't it? Just shuts us down. I think he'll accept that, won't it? Just need to stop it there. Objective complete. Wait for a moment. So, what else do we got to do here? Stop at location. So we do have to move again in a moment or two. So, whilst we're waiting, if I go to my outside camera, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's given us the next instruction, but I'm sure there's no rush. But if we just come over here, yeah, I was shunting in that one with the white shunter was coming up and down here the other day, and filling them with these hopper fillers, whatever you call them. So just to give you a little bit of a history of this place, I'll just read it to you now. Hardendale Quarry, also called Shapfell Quarry, is near Shap in Cumbria, England. It started in 1962 to supply top quality limestone for making steel in Scotland. In 1967 the quarry was taken over by British Steel, which built 3 kilns in 1972. These kilns were used to heat the limestone and turn it into lime for the steel making process. A 4th kiln was added in 1990 to make even more lime. Over the years, the limestone in the quarry started to run out, and the quarry stopped digging up stone in 2009. Since then, the kilns have been using limestone brought in from other places like Shap Beck Quarry in Cumbria and a quarry in Buxton, Derbyshire. The site is also important for history. When the quarry was being dug, archaeologists found an ancient burial site from the time of the Neolithic Bronze Ages. These days the quarry is being restored and the kilns still work using limestone brought in from other areas to make lime for industries. So there you go. Right, now then, what am I being asked to do here now? So it looks like we're reversing back up this line, and that that switch lever is highlighting that it's correctly been chosen. We'll just check this one as well. I have selected in the menu for them to select the correct levers, point levers, point directions, whatever you want to call them. That's correct as well. So we're just reversing all the way back here. Oh my god. I say oh my god because sometimes I hate reversing into buffers, because the yards written on the, if we have a look, the yards on the top left there don't correspond to accurately, if you know what I mean, to the buffer stop. So you can end up smashing into the buffer, which you will see me doing with the shunter at Preston. If you go back and watch my Preston, don't worry, it wasn't a dramatic accident. It was just a gentle shunt into the buffers, but I just find it annoying when little things like that happen. Right, let's stop whittling away, and let's put this brake on first, shall we? And let's get the brakes off here, because we are on a hill. So we got our straight brake on, recharging the brakes, and we need to get our reverser into reverse. Well, that's off, Dave. Into reverse, okay. And now I think we're ready to go. So we'll just apply some throttle, get this brake off. Right, off we go. That feels a bit fast, doesn't it? Ooh, very fast. We need to knock off. Knock. Knock it off, Dave. Getting too excited here. So really, I should be able to manage this reasonably well, because I am familiar with shunting here, because I was only shunting the other day. Oh, well, we were going slightly over the speed limit there then. So we're not actually filling these, we're just taking the empty hoppers into the siding, ready for the shunter to perform the task of taking these in groups of 5. If you play the actual shunting scenario, it's not a scenario, I keep calling it scenario, and it will take them through there to load them with lime. So we're just in fact, what I could do with doing is I don't want to be speeding here. Feels like we're going terribly fast and we're only doing 8 miles an hour. Could do with going on camera 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is the free roam camera. Wow, isn't this brilliant? I mean, this is why I like the freight stuff, you know, because it's... I know, I guess this is really boring to people who love driving passenger stuff, but I just love it. So a bit of a chinwag going on here. Now I'm sure that, you know, given it was the 80s, they would have been fagging it, well, at least one of them would be fagging it away there, you know. I guess they don't want to encourage smoking. So here's the other side of the ooh, getting a bit fast here. I've taken the throttle off now. I hope this does not come to a crashing end. Oh, we're going to have to apply brake. Yeah. And there we have it. There we go. We're done. I was I hope that's properly... It's not going to allow me to move them any further now anyway. I just hope I haven't stopped too soon. No. Okay, so I'm assuming we're uncoupling from here. Are we? Yes, we are. Okay. Right. Look at that, that's a lovely shot, isn't it? It's beautiful. Okay, so what's happening now then? Stop at location Hardendale head shunt, which I think is where we just came from. Yes, all the way down here. Yeah, so just back to where we've come from basically. And I'm assuming that these points are all still the same. They shouldn't be any different. Okay, so let's get back in the cab. Back in the cab. Right, let's get our brake on here. And let's get this into forward. And let's recharge our brake. Right, so when you're going, when you're doing the shunting timetable thing, these are the chutes here where the you can see. Well, let's go outside. You can see these are the chutes. So you need to park your 5. I mean, there's several of them. I don't know why it was only doing 5 at a time, but so park your little hoppers underneath them, and they'll fill up then. Yeah, we got another couple of skivers. Oh, for a moment then I thought he was smoking, but he isn't. He's just gesturing. Right, now then, I think we set everything up correctly, didn't we? We recharged that, didn't we? So we just got the handbrake on now. We just need to get our throttle on. We are in forward, aren't we? Yeah. And did we have our engine on then? Right, okay. So straight brake off. So I'm getting a bit faffy here, aren't I? Okay. Now our yeah. Ooh. I've just put the emergency brake on in panic there. It was a bit silly of me, wasn't it? Because we went, I'm not going to blame my driving skills there, I'm afraid. I'm blaming the fact that I went out with the camera when I shouldn't have done, because we're in a low speed area. It's just a shame we're going to get a little red mark now on our chart at the end, aren't we? I hope all of this has been recorded. Just checking. Oh, look, see, every time I look away. So we're going to have 2 little red marks now. I was just looking at my recorder to make sure that the audio was recording, because I record my audio separately. Because I've got a better microphone, more control over the editing anyway. I think this brings it to an end as well. Yeah, it does, sadly. Would have been nice to have driven it back to, picked up some hoppers that were full to take back up to Carlisle or somewhere else. So we're almost there. So we're just gonna stop in front of these buffers by the looks of it. So that then we can, well, perhaps, I think what was actually happening here the other day was the Class 47 was actually sat in this siding So I think it was waiting for the shunter to then go and do its business, you know. There we go. All done. So, yeah, a little bit of speeding at the end there. But, you know, everything else seemed to go okay. And we've got a, what they call it? A platinum. Is it platinum? You can get bronze. And then after bronze, I think it's silver. And then it's gold. And then there's platinum. So I've got a platinum. So, wowee, I can live happily for the rest of the day now. Anyway, so thank you very much everybody for watching. Not quite sure what the next one will be, but I did say that I will be driving every available locomotive you can buy or have on this route, apart from the steam engines. I haven't got those. But otherwise I'll be driving all of them, and we're slowly working through them all. So I'm not quite sure which will be the next one. Just have to wait and see. But thank you for coming along, and please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. All of those would be greatly appreciated, and help my channel. That would be much appreciated, because then I can just bring more and more of these videos for you. So yeah, I'll stop there anyway. Thank you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye now.